Hey, folks, welcome to another fanboy live stream. Today, I am joined by my Christmas tree. Got my Christmas tree behind me. Kids just put it up today. But more than that Christmas tree, I'm just going round the table with the half hour wasted guys. We had Frank on a couple of weeks back, and this week, I wanted to talk about Star Wars. I wanted to talk about The Mandalorian, and I can't think of any other just huge super fan of Star Wars than Mr. Brad Milyo. And there he is with a Grogu shirt on.
Hey,
How you doing?
Steven. I always say Steven in my head and even out loud. I was talking to my kids. Yeah, I'm going to be on this podcast with my friend Steven.
Well,
And
that's
people
okay.
pronounce it that way when they talk to you?
No, no,
No.
but they say it. All they do. They do. They don't.
Steven.
Yeah. What they usually say is, "Are there really two E's in your name?" And I say three actually. And then they go, "Ha, that's really funny."
Whose idea was that with the two in the middle?
It's named after a friend of my dad's.
Was he a hippie?
I have no idea. He went to Vietnam, never came back.
Oh, that's
So
sad.
yeah,
My uncle was in Vietnam, my dad's brother, and he never talks about it.
yeah. My
I
dad
can
was
only,
on
I
an
can only
aircraft.
imagine what they had to deal with.
Yeah, my dad was on an aircraft carrier during it, so he didn't really
Wow.
see anything. But the guy I was named after, he went by Steve, which I think looks weird spelled this way. I've always just gone by Steven, but my dad has always called me Steve. He's like the only one I let call me Steve. But yeah. But
Well, I
when
will
I type what
continue to refer to you as Steven.
well, that's fine because when I
Okay.
type out your name, I say Milyo.
Well, everybody does.
Mm-hmm.
Or Malio or Milio. In fact, when I call one of my kids, like when I'm in my car and I talk to the car, which is talking to the phone or whatever, I say, call Ashley Malayo because that's how the car reads it as
Yeah.
Malayo. So sorry about the cough drop. I'll try not to. Can you hear that? All right.
You guys are usually eating chips on one of your shows, so
I could do that. I could run get some chips. No?
no,
All right.
no, that's okay. That's all right. So let's talk about some Star Wars, some Mandalorian season 2, and then I'm gonna have you play later Steven's game
Okay.
to see if you can beat Frank's score. Of course, his was a Simpsons version. Yours will be a Star Wars version. And I have to admit, putting the Simpsons one together was a lot easier because I didn't every freaking you're gonna shave just like must be a Texas thing.
Oops. Dadgummit. This is not working the way I thought it would.
Must be a Texas thing.
Let's go ahead and talk Star Wars while we're at it.
Well, I think we should just because I'm gonna let everybody know we will be spoiling season 2 of The Mandalorian, and we will be spoiling.
Okay, this is really strange because I expected my hand to be over
Yeah.
here.
It's not a mirror.
I did not
So
think this out, Steven. I did not think this out. You know what?
This is amazing. This is amazing. People are watching you shave live on their YouTube. If you're watching right now, if you're watching us live right now, please leave a comment. We'd love to hear what you think about Brad shaving live on the show.
I'm not going to do this right now because the backwardsness is freaking me out.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I'm going to slice. I like shaving cream all over my earmuffs. This was dumb. I'd like to apologize. All right.
No, that was great.
All right. Well,
That was great. Yeah, that backwards thing, you'd end up cutting your nose off or something.
yeah, I know.
That freaking razor.
My face looks funny.
Does it? I can't tell. Look, it does look half shaved.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Oh, well.
awesome.
Well,
That's
that was going to be a funny bit, but then it backfired. So whatever. Let's talk Star Wars.
I thought it was.
I got-
funny. So let
I got my
we
the only
you got your
Boba
Boba
Fett
Fett?
figure I have is my old Mighty Mugs Boba Fett.
It's pretty cool. I like those Mighty Mugs.
I smell fresh now. Sorry.
You do.
Let's be adults.
So we're gonna spoil season 2 of The Mandalorian.
Yes.
We're especially gonna spoil the last episode. So if you haven't seen the
Mhm.
last episode and you don't want to be spoiled, you should probably stop watching. And I almost feel like we should just start out just talking about that big reveal
Let's do it.
on that last episode, because I want to know how you feel about it. If you're not aware, there's a moment for folks watching. If you're not aware, there's a moment in the final episode where a Jedi shows up basically to save everybody's bacon. The couple episodes previous, Grogu, who I'm really starting to finally get used to that name.
Yeah.
Baby Yoda. He sends his force message out into the ether to call on a Jedi, and we finally see who answers that call, and it turns out to be none other than Luke Skywalker. How did you feel about that reveal?
You know, I was surprised and a little embarrassed and ashamed that I never, not once, for even a microsecond, ever considered that Luke Skywalker would be the one that hears Grogu when he sits on the magic rock, right? Never, not once. But it makes sense because he's alive and he's, you know, obviously the most powerful of them. Well, I suppose an argument could be made. He's currently the most powerful Jedi around, but I was pleased. I was shocked. I watched it first thing in the morning. I woke up before my alarm because I think I knew that this episode was on Friday morning. You know, I was like, oh, I got to get up, start the coffee. And I think I started about 5:30, somewhere a little bit after 6 o'clock. I think I woke my neighbors up because I was hooting and hollering with joy, you know?
Yeah.
There was so much to like about that last scene, but I was super happy that I was, first off, surprised. I was glad that it was not spoiled. I'm amazed. I'm utterly shocked and amazed that they could keep that under wraps. Yeah. I mean, they did it once before with the very first episode of this show in season 1, so why couldn't they do it again? But man, I was so happy. This is my thought process. Okay, they're at a standoff with the Death Troopers, right? And then here comes the X-Wing. I thought, this is obviously the Jedi who heard Grogu. Who's it going to be? Will it be a new character? Will it be Ezra Bridger from the Rebels cartoon show? Because we had heard that we might see him on this. And not once in this whole process was I thinking, what if it's Luke Skywalker? Never, not once. And then we were watching him on the on the security feed monitors, you know, it was in black and white, so you couldn't see the color of the lightsaber. I was like, okay. And then we finally see a color version. He's wearing a dark robe and it's green. I'm like, that could be Ezra, because Ezra had a green lightsaber and it's been 5 years or so since we've seen him. Maybe he doesn't have that lightsaber blaster combo that he used. Maybe he's just got a regular lightsaber now. And then I saw the black glove and I went, nah, it's not. They wouldn't be that either brave or stupid to try to pull this off. It's obviously not this. And then there were a few shots that went by when I should have caught the naked hand, but I didn't see it until near the end. And that's when I started screaming. And with my hands up, I think I might have spilled my coffee. I knocked my little side table, you know, and I said, they're doing it. They're actually doing it. And then he goes like this. And I was like, wow, they did it. And I was just so happy. Now, was it perfect? The visual? No, it wasn't. But it was really good.
Yeah. And
in my opinion, it was 100 times better than either of the ones they tried in Rogue One.
Yep. Agreed.
Tarkin just looked off. And Leia, she looked a little off. I think they could have handled that a little better as far as they didn't have to show Leia's face. Anyway, I could go rant about that, but it looked really good. They're still not 100% there. I was really surprised they didn't, and it, to my untrained eyes, it looks like they didn't even attempt to try to use like the deep fake technology, because I think it would have looked better had they done that. Because we've all seen the videos of how, well, speaking of Rogue One, have you seen the video where they take the Cushing, the Peter Cushing we had, and the deep fake Peter Cushing that somebody else did was better than what was in the movie? Same with the Leia shot. It was better than what was in the movie. So I was really surprised that they didn't do that. I don't know that facial should have used deepfake. That's my buddy Kevin. Hey, buddy. Yeah, they should have used deepfake. They should have totally used deepfake. But even the deepfake is still off a little bit. I don't know that technology can ever truly replicate a human face.
I don't think you're ever going to get the eyes right. I don't think you're ever going to get true life coming out of somebody's eyes. But
yeah,
this is the first time I've ever heard of deep fake. I've never heard of this.
Are you serious? You've never heard of the deep fake videos? Okay.
Nope.
So Google deep fake and and what they do, Steven, is they set this program. This computer program analyzes as many images as you feed it of this actor or whatever from different stages of their career, if you want, or if you want a specific look. Like if they really wanted to recreate Luke Skywalker from Return of the Jedi, they could have taken, when he was that age, they could have taken all the footage from probably Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, and the computer would just analyze and analyze and analyze and analyze until it recreates everything. There's an app called Reface that you can get on your Android. That's basically using deepfake technology.
Okay.
Yeah. So there were other ways to do it, but I think they did pretty good. And I've seen this episode 4 times, maybe. I think I've watched it 4 times.
I've only watched it twice, but I just watched it before we started.
Yeah. I rewatched all of season 2 before, yesterday and today, just so I could refresh my memory. But I was really happy. And I think I was more happy, not that he showed up, but that they were able to pull off the surprise.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and it's funny because my experience was almost the exact same as yours. The whole time they're showing him cutting down all the dark troopers and whatnot. The whole time I'm like, oh my gosh, who is this? Who is this? Never once thinking it was going to be Luke Skywalker. They've done a really good job, really kind of keeping this away from the whole Skywalker saga in this show. So I just never assumed that they would do that. And when you watch it again, it is so obvious. He's wearing his Return of the Jedi outfit.
You could even see that
the black glove, and he's got the non-glove.
You could see his little silver belt buckle too.
But the whole time I'm like, again, I'm Ezra Bridger.
Yeah.
There was when you see him with the dark troopers, they're so big that he's smaller than them, so it could have been a woman. And there was the character in the Clone Wars, the Padawan that was a friend of Ahsoka's that went bad.
Barriss Offee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like could it be her? Who could it be? And then he takes that hood off, and I yelled out loud. My kid was in the room, so I went, "What the flip?" And she like this, and I was like, I could not believe that they did that. And I ended up going and telling my wife, I said, they got freaking Luke Skywalker on the Mandalorian.
I'm a little embarrassed that I never even once even considered the possibility from a story standpoint that it could have been Luke, because it could have been. He was still alive at that point.
Yeah.
I was just convinced we were going to see a new character.
Yeah.
And I had no idea. I get so absorbed in the story of what I'm like, so absorbed in the moment. When I watch TV and movies, I don't like watching TV shows and movies where I have to think to try to figure out what's going on.
Yep.
I want it to be spoon-fed to me. I have enough to think about in life and my own problems to solve in life, with the exception of the occasional whodunit mystery. I don't want to have to go, okay, how are they going to get out of this? I just want to watch and enjoy the moment. And so not once was I thinking when those death troopers were banging on the door, and then I was like, I don't know how they're going to get out of this, but it's going to be awesome. And it never once occurred to me that a Jedi would show up.
Yeah.
But I think I know I've said this a million times, but I just can't believe they pulled it off and kept it a secret.
Yeah.
And this sounds like a silly word to use, but they were brave to try to do that, to try to make it be Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, I agree, because from what I understand, I really haven't seen a lot of reaction to it on the internet, because I watched it uh, late Friday afternoon. So, of course, I avoided the internet as much as possible. But I really haven't gone out to try to look for reaction. But what I have seen that's been kind of bouncing around out there, there are some folks who are really didn't like it. We're really upset about it for some reason, because that's the way some Star Wars fans can be. They just
Yeah.
don't like certain things. But yeah, I couldn't believe they did it, and I agree. I think they're very brave to do it. I think they pulled it off, and it's really refreshing to be surprised like that in a show these days.
Oh yeah.
And really
Yeah.
enjoyed that. Now,
I
let me ask you this.
I never even heard of any rumors. That was never a possibility.
No, that's the thing, because we knew, of course, that Ahsoka was going to show up at some point. Because
She was
rumored.
wonderful, by the way.
There was, yes, yeah, I can't wait for her show.
Yeah.
We knew that, or at least I had seen rumors that, what's his name, Cobb Vanth was going to show up at some point. Yeah. And
Did
that
you read?
Boba Fett would be on, but Luke Skywalker, nothing.
There was a trilogy of books. Once Disney bought Lucasfilm, they took all those other books out of continuity of canon, and they started publishing new books that were in canon. And one of the first ones they did was a trilogy called the Aftermath trilogy, which took place a few months after Return of the Jedi. And if that air conditioner is too loud, let me know.
Yeah, no, I can't hear it.
In that book, they introduced the character of Cobb Vanth, and he acquired. They weren't specific about it, but in that book, there was a scene where he was rescued by Jabba. Well, he wasn't even rescued by Jabba's. The scene in the TV show was a little different. He happened upon some Jawas in one of their big sand crawlers, and he had a pocket full of money, and he went in to try to buy something, and he saw a suit of Mandalorian armor and bought it from them. And that's all they ever talked about. He showed up once or twice after that in maybe the second or third book, but they set it up back then. And if you think about it, did they know they were going to, why did they put that guy in the show and have him acquire, and not in the show, in the story, and have him acquire armor, unless they were going to do something with it down the line?
Yeah.
But anyway, it was cool. And I've always had like a man crush on Timothy Olyphant. I want to be like his best friend, but I'm not going to stalk you. I promise.
Have you ever seen him on Conan?
Oh yeah. He's funny. And
he is freaking funny.
Yeah, he's funny. And Justified was a great show.
Yeah. And his Cobb Vanth was basically Raylan Givens.
Oh yeah.
With Boba Fett's armor on.
Yeah.
Which was great.
Yeah, it was great. It was really good. I was hoping we'd see him again, in the season. Like when he started gathering all these people to help him, I thought, oh, he's going to go get Cobb Vanth.
Yeah.
But and the Bill Burr's character was great also. I think Bill Burr's really funny. And I love the fact that he basically was just being himself. I mean, that was like Bill Burr. If you ever watch his stand-up or whatever, the way he talks, his mannerisms, his thought process, it just looked like it was Bill Burr thrown in a Star Wars movie or TV show. And I've gone on record saying I've got a real problem when I'm watching a movie and I go, oh, there's Tom Hanks, instead of, oh, there's whoever. Like that, the Tom Cruise War of the Worlds remake. Yeah, it's Tom Cruise. I know it's Tom Cruise going in. But right in the middle of it, there was this weird scene where he happens upon this house with this man living in it. It's Tim Robbins. Yeah. And all I could think is, why is Tim Robbins in the middle of this movie? So, and I had the same reaction when I was watching Guardians of the Galaxy when Glenn Close showed up. I was like, why is Glenn Close in this movie? But for some reason, I didn't feel that way when I saw Bill Burr. I was like, oh, there's Bill Burr, but he's this guy. I didn't have a problem with it. Anyway, all of that is to say I really liked him in this show as well.
So back to that last episode, I have to assume, like I did, when he's getting ready to hand over Grogu, and he takes his helmet off. Tears, tears. Did you tear up? Because I did.
You know what's funny? I cry at everything. I cry at everything. If something happy happens, I cry. If something sad happens, I cry. I can be singing a song and cry because I love this song so much. I've cried several times watching geek sci-fi TV shows and stuff like that. But no, I didn't for some reason. I think because I was just so excited that freaking Luke Skywalker was there. But no, I didn't expect him to be crying. But when Grogu is being carried away by Luke and it shows that little more medium shot, distant shot of him, you could see the tears were like hovering in his eyes, in the Mando's eyes. But and Bill McGonnell, he told us recently, he said, he didn't tell us. I just published a Random Audio Files episode of our podcast, and in it he commented about how he was surprised at how emotionally impactful that episode was for him. What about Apollo Creed directing an episode, though? Yeah, he directed the which one did he direct? It was
the one that he was in.
Was he only in the one?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they go to take out that Imperial base.
Yeah.
On that planet. I can never remember a lot of the names of the people or the planets or any of that crap. But
you know who the blue guy is? I was really happy to see the blue guy.
Yes, though I can't think of his name now off the top of my head. But
Horatio Sands.
Yeah, even knowing it's the same thing with the dude from the first episode of season 2. God, who is that? The guy with the one eye.
Who was that? I don't know who that was.
I got to look that up now. It's the dude that does the voice of the sloth in the Ice Age movies.
Oh, okay.
John Leguizamo.
That was John Leguizamo.
Yeah. Knowing that Horatio Sands is the blue guy and knowing that John Leguizamo is the guy with one eye, I still cannot see it in either one.
I can totally see Horatio Sands, but not was John Leguizamo the physical actor?
I don't know if he was in the suit.
Second. Was that the second episode that he did? Is that what he's saying?
I think so, yeah.
Or is that it was his voice?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he was in the suit or not, but
okay, but it was his voice.
voice.
And it was definitely Mark Hamill's voice.
Yeah.
Kevin, second episode. It was definitely Mark Hamill's voice. I thought it might have been him in the non-fighting scenes, but apparently it wasn't. I read an article today that told who it was, but it was, and Mark Hamill was credited, so that was definitely his voice. I mean, we can all raise our voice a bit and sound a bit younger if we really need to. So and Mark Hamill's a professional VO guy, so he can do anything with his voice. Yeah. I'm super happy, Steven. This Mandalorian show is the best thing from coming out of the Star Wars universe in the last 7 years.
Yeah. When I told my wife after they announced it, I said, we will be getting Disney Plus. Normally I don't just make decisions like that. When it comes to money, we got to talk about it. And she goes, why would you want Disney Plus? I said, because The Mandalorian. And I told her, I said, you don't understand. Star Trek fans have had Star Trek on TV all their lives.
Yeah.
Just all these different versions of the show. I said, but all we've had are animated stuff. The only live action Star Wars we've ever had on TV was that holiday special. And Jon Favreau he and Dave Filoni just knocked it out of the park, man. They should just do all the Star Wars from now on.
I hope they're involved with every Star Wars TV decision. Because, Disney made all those announcements about all these new shows coming out. And if they don't function in some kind of, at least an executive producer capacity, it's going to be a mistake. They know what they're doing. They have saved Star Wars, I think.
Yeah. because the new trilogy, 7, 8, 9. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
I know that's got a lot of mixed reaction to it. I like them. I like the episodes. I like the Mandalorian a lot more than I like 7, 8, 9. But I don't have the only problem I had with those three movies is in the second movie, the scene where they go to the casino planet. I just,
Yeah, that was unnecessary.
yeah, it just felt, yeah, exactly, unnecessary.
I liked The Force Awakens very much. Give the keys to Star Wars. Yep, absolutely, Kevin. I loved The Phantom Menace, or The Force Awakens, and I loved The Last Jedi. I'm one of the few that adores The Last Jedi. Um, and I still have mixed feelings about Rise of Skywalker. It left me cold. Having said that, there's a lot of stuff in it that I loved. There's a lot of great stuff in that movie, but as a end to the Skywalker saga, I was disappointed. But
Yeah.
um, I'll watch anything Star Wars, at least once.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The prequels, I sometimes struggle rewatching them, but I'll still rewatch them. There's
I'll
still
watch.
moments in those prequels that
Yeah,
I really like.
they all have great stuff in it.
Yeah.
The only Star Wars thing I won't watch, and I'm in the minority, I know, is Rogue One. I don't care for that movie at all. I think it's
Really?
a poor excuse for a Star Wars movie. But that's an entire other discussion that I don't want to have right now because it will only make me mad.
What about Solo?
I loved it. I thought it
Yeah.
was great.
I thought it was great too.
Yeah, I thought it was wonderful.
I get angry when people tell me that Solo was crap because it wasn't.
Well, here's the thing. I've been thinking a lot about Star Wars fans who get angry,
Yeah.
and believe me, I understand. and you have not given me any indication that you are one of those, and I hate to use this word because it sounds cliche, but it's probably accurate. One of these toxic Star Wars fans that just go online and complain about everything. I mean, somebody when Luke Skywalker showed up at the end of Mandalorian, somebody went online and said, my daughter saw it. They said, oh, they should fire Kathleen Kennedy because she's probably the reason they chose to to have that particular Jedi show up. They should fire her because it was awful. And I'm like, well, first off, I disagree with you, but that's not about it being an awful decision. But that's not the main thing. The main thing is if you have time to go online and just complain about every little thing that you don't like, you need to reassess your priorities in life. I mean,
Yeah.
It's a shame that often the loudest voice on the internet are those that just want to complain about everything. Have I done it? Yes. Do I do it on a regular basis? No. Have I gotten I strive to I rarely talk about anything on the internet, posting wise. I'll post pictures and I'll make a funny comment here and there, but I don't go on rants. I don't complain about anything. Have I in the past? Yes, but I don't do it now. And I tire of those fans that think they are entitled to have the story that they want. If you want a certain type of story, then convince Lucasfilm to publish your screenplay or your book, or let them have them let you draw this particular comic or whatever. It doesn't do you any favors to look like an idiot from whining and complaining. I'm just tired of those people. I'm tired of those fans.
And for anybody to say that it was a mistake to have it be Luke Skywalker, I mean, why wouldn't it have been Luke Skywalker? I mean, really, if you just look at the original trilogy by itself, at that time, Luke was supposed to be the only Jedi left. And, well, technically, he wasn't even a Jedi, but he was supposed to be the only Force user left. And then they started doing all these other shows, and suddenly we have, Ahsoka and Ezra Bridger and all these others. But really, when it comes to the main Star Wars mythos, Luke was it for a
Yeah.
long time. So why wouldn't it be Luke?
He
But
was obviously the chosen one, so he would be the most powerful. Yeah, why wouldn't it be? And I think, I wonder if those people that are upset about it were like, well, if Luke had him, if Luke was the one that found him and got him, then why didn't we hear about Grogu in the sequel trilogy at all?
yeah,
Well, bad stuff happens in life and in the Star Wars universe.
yeah,
The story's not done. Quit complaining and sit back and pay your $6.99 a month to Disney Plus and watch the shows coming up. Maybe we're going to learn something about that.
yeah,
You know, I've had enough of complainers.
right.
And all I've been doing for the last 5 minutes is complaining about those
Complain about
people.
people who complain. Yep,
You're allowed to complain about complainers, I think.
that's right.
It's written down somewhere.
Yeah. So, what did you think of Boba Fett?
Uh, I've always liked Boba Fett. And when I hear that, people go, Boba Fett was nothing. He didn't do anything in those movies. And I'm like, yeah, but he was cool. And then I started thinking, oh, he really didn't do anything in those movies other than just look super cool.
Yeah.
But I loved seeing him. It was great. And I like the fact that he took the time to give his armor a paint job, from one episode to the next. I thought that was great. I tell you what I liked most about Boba Fett was being in his ship and seeing it as they took off from the planet, seeing it rotate around the gyroscope thing that they were sitting on was staying level, and you saw the ship rotate around it.
Yeah.
Boba Fett, am I right? Oh, that's not nice, Kevin. Well, you know what? He's been on the planet for 5 years trying to find his armor. This brings up an interesting point. Why did it take him so long to find it? And if he knew Cobb Vanth had it, why didn't he just go get it?
Good question.
But you know what? I'm not going to worry about it because it was awesome. And seeing Boba Fett again was awesome.
It was my daughter just walked in.
I was telling Boba Fett to be quiet.
Oh, Boba Fett. Squish his head.
Hi, Steeven's daughter. No, Boba Fett was great. And he, even without his armor, he could still kick butt.
I think the only thing about Boba Fett that disappointed me was that they didn't use him enough, frankly. It's like he got...
It's not his show, man.
I know, and he's getting his own show, which was really cool, even though we got to wait a whole freaking year for it.
Yeah.
But my thought on Boba Fett is I'm in the same boat. I loved him in the movies, even though he didn't really do anything, because he looked cool. He just looked like he just looked like a badass. And the whole reason I was excited about The Mandalorian is now I get to see somebody who looks like Boba Fett doing some Boba Fett type stuff. And then when they bring Boba Fett in, man, when he finally put that armor on and he just started taking out stormtroopers.
There was a great shot of one, was it a stormtrooper? And then the camera kind of goes up and reveals Boba Fett behind him. That was so awesome. From below, you were looking up. But Boba Fett, what I liked is that in one of the later episodes when the Mando and him went to find the other two Mandalorian girls, he got his ass whooped. So he's not perfect. He's not perfect.
He held his own there for a while. He held his own there for a while.
He's out of practice. It makes him
not
relatable to me.
But he hasn't been raised really like they have.
Right. Yeah. I thought it was interesting. He said he gives his allegiance to no one, but he still recognizes the fact that, well, see, when he showed Boba Fett his what do you call it? A chain code that was coming out of his wrist. He made a point to say, that his father was a Mandalorian and that made him a Mandalorian. But then when he talks to the girls, he's like, I give my allegiance to nobody. So I don't know if Boba Fett thinks he's a real Mandalorian or not, but I don't suppose it matters.
Yeah.
But
I don't think he does, because while he did say his dad was a Mandalorian, he was a foundling.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed the cracks that they were giving him about being a clone.
Yeah.
And she said, "I've heard your voice 1,000 times."
Yeah.
You know, and
I also
that was some good
liked,
stuff.
he acknowledged it too when they had Mayfeld, that's the Bill Burr character. They went to the planet and he's like, I got to go in and find the thing. And he's like, you can go. Nope, they'll see my face. You can go. Nope, I'm wanted. Boba Fett's like, let's just say they'll recognize
Yeah,
my face.
they'll recognize
So
my
that was
face.
pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Yeah, I think the Boba Fett stuff. Okay, so up until a couple hours ago, I was undecided as to whether or not the book of Boba Fett meant that's what season 3, chapter 3 is going to be called of The Mandalorian, and he'll be on the show,
Mhm.
or if he's going to get his own show called The Book of Boba Fett. Well, a couple hours ago I saw, and I think my daughter even told me a couple hours before that, so she might have seen the same article, but apparently somebody who works at Lucasfilm said that they are 2 separate shows. There's going to be a Boba Fett show and The Mandalorian season 3. So I don't know how that's going to work for them. I don't know which one I'd want. I don't know if I'd want the Book of Boba Fett to be the 3rd season and have 2 stories, like an A plot and a B plot, but I don't know. Either way, Brad, you have half a mustache. Yeah, I know. Thank you for pointing that out. I'll have to rethink.
We'd almost forgotten.
Yeah, I had. Thank you for bringing that up, Kevin. You're bald, so there you go. Says the bald guy.
His picture really matches that comment. It's like he's going.
Yeah. That was a mistake, but I suppose that makes it funnier.
I think season 3 of The Mandalorian is going to be more now about him working with Bo-Katan.
Yeah.
And to get Mandalore back.
Yeah. That'll be cool. That'll be like a kind of like a war type of storyline. That might be cool.
I gotta wonder. Boba Fett obviously is going to be more about the criminal underworld.
Okay.
I assume.
Thank you for bringing that up. Here's the only problem I had with that tag after the credits. I don't think Boba Fett would care about being the head of a criminal underworld, because Boba Fett's not a criminal. He's a bounty hunter. And I think there's a difference. He gives his allegiance to no one, like he said. So why would he want the responsibility? Maybe he just needed a new apartment and he thought, oh, I can just go crash in Jabba's pad.
Maybe being eaten by a sarlacc will change your outlook on life.
Yeah. I like the fact that they made him look like he'd had like half digested his head and all that. He didn't have any hair left and all that stuff. That was pretty cool. So understanding Boba's motivation to go in and clean house and take up Jabba's thing, that's the only problem I really had with that. But it's not really a problem. Of course I'm going to watch the show. But the visual of him sitting on the throne and Fennec standing behind him, drinking that blue milk or whatever, that was pretty cool.
But as a bounty hunter, though, he still, even in Return of the Jedi, he was still hanging out at Boba's palace or at Jabba's palace. He was just.
Well, what if he was on retainer?
Yeah, maybe.
He might have been on retainer because Jabba could pay him.
Yeah. But I gotta kind of wonder if it is going to focus a lot on the criminal underworld part of Star Wars. Are we going to see Darth Maul? Is he still alive at this point?
No, he's not.
Really, the last time we saw him was in Solo, right? Did
chronologically
after Solo?
Chronologically, the last time we saw him was in Rebels when he fought Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Okay, all right.
You remember what happened there?
No, it's been a while.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. They dueled, a very short duel, and he killed Darth Maul again.
Okay.
It was a bit of a disappointing battle, but it was the old looking pre A New Hope Obi-Wan Kenobi, so it's not like he could move real fast. But he bested Darth Maul again.
I'll have to go back and watch that again.
Yeah. So if we get a Solo sequel, I would think we would see Darth Maul, but chances of a Solo sequel, I think, are pretty slim.
Yeah. I tell you, I'm really glad I avoided when Clone Wars first came out. We didn't have cable, so I had to wait till it came out on DVD. And so I watched the first season on DVD and wasn't really all that impressed with it. So when Disney Plus came about, I didn't rush to watch it because the first season wasn't that good. And I remember trying to watch Rebels as well. Didn't think the first season was that good on that show, but both of those shows, you just got to get through that first season.
Yeah.
And they are so good. I'm really glad I watched them because there's so much of both of those shows that are in The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
That I got to kind of wonder, folks watching The Mandalorian that have never watched those shows, how much more enjoyment we're getting out of them than they are.
I think it's just what other Skywalker's saga characters will we see? Han, Chewie, Leia, Lando. I bet we might. Like we could see Chewie.
Chewie's easy.
Yeah, but I wouldn't think we'd see Han, Leia, or Lando.
I can't see. Well, I don't think we'll see Han unless they use somebody else. I don't think we'll see Leia unless they use somebody else.
I wouldn't think we'd see anybody, but except for Chewie.
Because they could have done that with Luke. They could have used somebody completely different to play Luke, but they didn't.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. They've kind of set a precedent, since they made Luke look like Mark Hamill. Mace. I sure would love to see Mace Windu show up because I think he survived when he fell out of the window in episode 3.
Yeah.
Jedi can fall from great heights.
Speaking of Mace, I got to ask this question. Every time I watch the second prequel and you got Anakin and Obi-Wan down in the arena and the bad guys are up in the balcony watching, and then Mace walks up and he pops his saber in front of Jango. Every time he does that, my head goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?" Every time.
Yeah, Sam Jackson is amazing. Oddly enough, I think his performance as Mace Windu is probably might be his worst performance on film, but I don't think it's his fault. I think we all know whose fault it is.
Yeah, because I've heard a lot of people angry that Hayden Christensen, if I pronounce his name correctly, is coming back for this Obi-Wan movie.
Why would they be angry? Because they think he acts like a piece of cardboard?
Yeah. And I have to assume that these are people that have only seen him in those movies, because I've seen him in other movies, and the boy can act.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
I think most of us know that the reason why a lot of those actors and actresses didn't really put in a good performance is because of the directing.
Yes.
And I think anybody who's been directed by George Lucas will tell you that he's not an actor's director.
Yeah, no, I mean, the only exception being episode 4, I think the acting in that was pretty good. But he had so much to worry about with all the technology and the special effects that he was like, let's just get these scenes filmed and then I can worry about putting them together. So, as far as your question about, the people that have seen the Clone Wars and Rebels, would they enjoy it more than the people watching Mandalorian who haven't? I don't know. I mean, I'm one of those types that loves Easter eggs, of stuff I know in the past. But I've seen movies that have something to do with something that's happened before, and there's an Easter egg there that I didn't know, and I'm watching it with somebody and they go, "Oh, that's the thing from the other deal." I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about because I haven't seen that, but I'm still enjoying this very much.
Yeah, that's true.
You will get me a Coke Zero. Have you seen those Star Wars auditions? I'll send you links.
Yeah, but
Steven.
like on a SNL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find your lack of Coke Zero disturbing. You will get me a Coke Zero. Yeah, those are funny. I think the Clone Wars animated series, the computer animated series, there were some stinkers. I had to fight my way through some episodes. My buddy Kevin, who's commenting, he's currently watching the Clone Wars. He told me every episode that Jar Jar Binks is in is stupid. And I said, yeah, you're probably right. But there's some good stuff in it. The same with Rebels. The first season I struggled, but I'm glad I kept up with it. I think if you had seen those, imagine not knowing who Ahsoka is and then watching Mandalorian season 2 and see this brand new Jedi come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I mean, you can still enjoy it and still think, man, she is cool, and not really know anything about her.
Not know who she is, not know who Grand Admiral Thrawn is. Why is she asking about that guy?
Yeah, that's another thing that I was really happy that they brought in was his name. So, can people who have seen the back matter enjoy it a little more? Yes. But that doesn't mean that people who don't know the backstory can't enjoy it.
Yeah.
So.
Agreed.
Man, it is a good time to be a Star Wars fan.
Yes, it is.
With all these new shows announced and Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni finished Clone Wars into the second season of Rebels.
There is some freaking dark stuff.
Yeah. When I told Kevin, I said, there's some stuff in both of those animated shows that will give you context for what you're seeing in this new season of The Mandalorian. So that's why he's doing it.
There's some dark stuff in the Clone Wars. Do you remember the episode when they had all the clone troopers on that ship in the escape pods, and they're all just floating in space, and then the droids are going out in their little ships, and they're just cracking open those escape pods so that these Clone Wars can suffocate and die in the vastness of space?
No, I don't.
It's
I don't.
Plo Koon, is that his name? He was in that episode, but
yeah,
I just watched that and I'm like, that's dark.
There's some. It's not all.
There's a lot of death in that show.
It's not all happy fun times.
Show.
Yeah, Star Wars is not all happy fun times.
Right.
And Rogue One was not a happy fun time movie. That may be one of the reasons I didn't care for it. But
we won't talk about Rogue One. I don't want to make you angry.
No, I just want to start flipping tables if we talk about Rogue One.
I don't want to see the Brad that set fire to his Spider-Man comic book.
No, that was Chad. That. His name is Chad, by the way. Yeah. We have at work.
Milyo.
Yeah, at work we have names for each other when we're upset or having a bad day. Kevin says he remembers. Yeah.
Dark, Kevin. It was dark.
Yeah. We have different. Like, there's a guy named Tony at work, but when he's in a bad mood, his name is Terry. Kristen is Crystal. Brad is Chad. We all have those names. What would your name be? If you're angry, upset
Steve.
Mood, just Steve.
Just Steve,
yeah.
Steve with just STEVE.
Steve. Not even the E at the end.
That's right.
It's TEEV.
My thing at work is when something goes wrong, I blame communism. I'm always prepared to blame communism when stuff goes wrong.
Who do I blame?
Is there anything else you want to say about The Mandalorian? We basically spent most of the time just talking about that final episode, but
I know that Gina Carano, has been stirring up controversy with some of her social media posts and stuff.
Yeah.
But she's phenomenal on this show. I think she's great. I just wish people could separate story and nonfiction from fiction.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. I understand you want to make a statement, but I think she's great. I don't know everything that she's done or said online, but the person I see on The Mandalorian is Cara Dune. It's not Gina Carano.
Yeah.
I can separate it. And if you have a problem with that, well, then kiss my butt.
I mean, I can separate it too, but yeah, I mean, I get it. There are certain things like, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I won't watch anything Tom Cruise is in anymore. I just won't. Um, I have a problem with him. He's probably the only one that I'm like that with, but I get it. People don't want to support. They feel like if they're watching something that somebody is in that has said something or done something that they find offensive, then in essence they are supporting them financially, I guess you could say. But
Well, that's their problem.
yeah,
I can separate the two.
yeah.
And
There
again,
used to be a time when nobody knew anything about people that were in the movies. They knew
social
nothing
media
about
is
any of
the
these
best
people.
thing and the worst thing to ever happen to humanity.
Yep,
I really do truly believe that.
I agree.
It can be used for such good, but I think it's used for more bad stuff than good. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've come close to just deleting my Facebook account because all I see online are just people griping about stuff.
I do want to say real quick. I remember listening to you guys on Half Hour Wasted talk about season one. You guys went episode through episode,
Yeah.
and there was one particular point you were talking about the whole idea of stunt casting, and like you were saying earlier, seeing somebody in like Tim Robbins in that
Yeah.
War of the Worlds, and just why is he in the is in why is he in this? Why is Glenn Close in Guardians? And I think the one person you pointed out in Mandalorian was that Ming Na Wen from Shield.
Yeah. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Um, I you may have learned this since then, but she is like a huge Star Wars super fan.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. I
And
think it's
the
great.
dude that is one of those two X-wing pilots, the guy that's talking to Cara Dune and gives her the badge, he's also apparently just a big, huge Star Wars super fan. I mean, that's got to be awesome if you're an
Yeah.
actor, an actress, and you love Star Wars. You're just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
hey, can I fly an X-wing in this
Yeah.
episode? That's got to be pretty
You
cool.
know who the other Star Wars or the other X-Wing pilot was, right?
That was Dave Filoni,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah. I think it's cool if you can be in your own show if you're the head
Yeah.
honcho.
Yeah.
Katie Sackhoff posted recently she brought her dad to set because he was a huge Star Wars fan and she loves Star Wars because her dad loves Star Wars. And
Nice.
so social media, there's some good stuff on it.
Oh yeah.
We
I
should
mean,
just all try to be nicer to each other and keep our mouths shut when we have something to complain about.
agreed. Use the Will Wheaton credo.
What's
Don't be a
that?
dick.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's very simple.
Yep.
Sometimes it's a struggle to try to adhere to that, but it's the best way to live your life.
I can't tell you how many posts or tweets or replies that I have started and have just deleted without sending because you read something and you're like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Start typing away and you're about to
Yep.
hit send and you read it over again and go, what's the point? What's the point
Yeah.
of sending that? There's no point.
I've
to
gotten
it.
really good, I think, over the last decade, learning to think before I say. Every once in a while, I'll slip up. And you know what else I've heard a lot is just write an email, start a
Yeah.
draft, and say
Yep.
everything you need to say, and then read it to yourself, and then delete it.
Yeah.
A lot of
I
times,
agree.
I'll go to Amazon and I'll just put a bunch of stuff in my cart, like I'm going to buy it all. The act of putting it in my cart makes me feel like I got that out of my system, and then I just delete it all. You can do the same thing with words in an email.
And then you accidentally buy a bunch of stuff because you hit the wrong button. I thought I hit delete.
That's never happened to me, luckily. As far as anything else, pardon me, anything else about The Mandalorian, I mean, I can't think of anything specific without, just starting to dissect each episode, but I'm super happy with it. Just couldn't be more pleased.
Well, you ready to play the game?
Is it game time? All
It's
right.
game time.
You know, I thought about waiting for this point to do the shaving bit because I remembered you saying that when you started this bit with Frank, you couldn't see Frank.
Yeah.
And I thought it would be fun to start shaving when you couldn't see me and then just kind of hold off until you could see me. And then I'd be in the middle of shaving. But then again, the backwards, it threw me off. So let's play a game. May the force be with you both. Thank you, Kevin.
Does that mean you're leaving, Kevin? Don't leave.
I think he means with the game.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so yeah, because basically I'm just sharing a PowerPoint presentation.
Okay.
So I'm
have we really been talking for 50 minutes about Star Wars?
Yes, we have.
Wow.
Okay, so now I can't see you at all, but the way this game works is you can earn up to 100 points in this game. There are 3 rounds.
Okay.
First round is worth 25 points. You got 5 trivia questions. Each trivia question is worth 5 points. Second round is worth 25 points. I'm going to give you a quote, 5 different quotes. Each one of those is worth 5 points. And then we're going to play this video portion that's worth 50 points. It's very easy to get the first 50 points, but once we get to that video portion.
What are people seeing right now? Just a big black screen?
Just a big black. Well, they're seeing both of us.
Oh, okay.
And then a big black screen. Okay, so let's play Steeven's game.
Look grumpy in that picture.
Yeah.
That's Steve in that picture.
All right, so round 1
Okay.
is trivia. Are you ready?
I am ready. Can you hear me crunching?
Yes, I hear you crunching. I will say for the trivia portion, all these questions come from the original trilogy. It was really difficult for me, being a big Star Wars fan, being just as big of a Star Wars fan probably as you are. I found it really difficult to find questions that may challenge you. Yeah. So here we go.
Okay.
What were Luke's aunt and uncle's jobs on Tatooine? These are all multiple choice. Is it A, blue milk farmers, B, dewback ranchers, C, moisture farmers, or D, space accountants?
C, moisture farmers.
Is that your final answer?
I will always give you a final answer.
All right. Moisture farmers, you've earned your first 5 points.
All right.
Question number 2. Which species stole the plans to the second Death Star? Was it A, the Bothans?
Yes, Bothans.
B.
A Vulcan
Scotsman? You don't think it was a Scotsman?
No, you made it you made it a 50% deal right there when obviously C and D are not really answers.
Yeah, that's true.
Manny Bothans died to bring us this information.
That's right. Bothans. All right, question 3. What does AT-AT stand for? All-terrain army tank, all-terrain armored tank, all-terrain armored transport, or all things are tall?
C, all-terrain armored transport.
All-terrain armored transport. Yeah, I think you're going to sweep these just like Frank did. Who was the original commander of the Death Star? Grand Moff Tarkin, Darth Vader, Emperor Palpatine, or Archibald J. Frankfurter III?
Well, Archibald J. Frankfurter III was, I think he was second in command underneath Grand Moff Tarkin.
Yes, Archibald would have been the Vice Moff.
Yes.
Grand Moff Tarkin. All right, last question in the trivia round. Where was Luke Skywalker originally headed to pick up power converters? Jank Station, Biggs Place, Tashi Station, or O'Reilly's?
O'Reilly's. He was going to Tashi Station.
I should have said Space O'Reilly's. Everything
yes,
should be
Space O'Reilly's.
Tashi Station. All right, so you've earned your first 25 points. Next is the quote round. These can come from any of the movies.
Okay.
Quote 1. Somebody has to save our skins. Who said it?
Princess
Han
Leia.
Solo, Princess Leia.
Oh, you're gonna give me questions. I apologize. You tried to throw me off by putting an asterisk next to Han Solo.
No, it's just a star. They're just there. So Princess Leia is correct. See, these are easy, man. It's hard to find hard stuff.
I've been watching this movie. Well, how old are you, Steven?
I am 48.
Then you've been watching this movie as long as I have.
Yes, I saw it in the theater as well. Yep.
Yeah.
You're asking me to be rational. That is something that I know I cannot do. Believe me, I wish I could just wash away my feelings, but I can't. Was that Anakin Skywalker, Mace Windu, Qui-Gon Jinn, or Charlie Sheen?
Anakin Skywalker said that.
That was Anakin Skywalker. Quote number 3, in my experience, there is no such thing as luck. Darth Vader, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Han Solo, or Charlie Sheen?
Han Solo.
No, it was Obi-Wan Kenobi.
You're right.
He was replying to Han
Solo.
Solo.
Talking to Han Solo. Dadgummit.
All right. Quote number 4. I'm out of it for a little while and everybody gets delusions of grandeur.
Han Solo.
Not Charlie Sheen? You don't want to just hedge your bets there?
No.
It was Han Solo. All right. Last quote. This will be a day long remembered. It has seen the end of Kenobi. It will soon see the end of the rebellion. Darth Vader, Emperor Palpatine, Grand Moff Tarkin, or was it Charlie Sheen this time?
Can you give me the quote again?
Yeah.
This one's tripping me up.
Let's see. Previous. This will be a day long remembered. It has seen the end of Kenobi. It will soon see the end of the rebellion.
As Darth Vader said that.
That was Darth Vader.
Yeah.
All right, so you are now resting at 45 points.
I can't believe I screwed that one up.
Now we're going to do a little video thing called Name That Character. I have 5 videos featuring Funko Pop versions of Star Wars characters.
Okay.
Each video is 10 seconds long. It will start zoomed in on the character, and as it starts, it will zoom out. So the longer the video goes, the more clarity you get, but the longer the video goes, the lower your points. So at any point as the video goes, if you think you know who it is, you say stop. I will stop it if you get the question right. However many seconds are left, that's the number of points you get. So for example, if this were a Star Wars character, we'd start the video and at any point you would say stop, and then you would learn that yes, this is pop sensation Justin Timberlake.
That's funny.
You ready?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to start, and then as soon as you figure it out, you say stop. We are going to go now.
Stop. Yoda.
All right, let's find out if that's correct.
Almost.
No, it's Grogu.
No, that's Grogu. Yeah. Okay.
So no points on that one. All right, next one. We are going to start now.
Stop. Ahsoka.
Okay. Well, it's not showing me how many seconds we got left here. It did with Frank's.
Yeah, I saw those.
Well, we're about halfway there. We'll say 5 seconds. And yes, it's Ahsoka. Okay. Oh, and it's going to play it again.
Ahsoka.
Stupid PowerPoint. All right. So you're sitting at 50 points. I'm going to start this one now.
Stop. It's one of those off-world Jawas. What do they call them? Off-world Jawa?
We'll accept Jawa. For
What
4
is it?
points, it is a Jawa.
Yeah. The ones that are not on Tatooine look like that for some reason. I'm not sure why. I'm going to guess right off the bat, I'm going to guess Leia on the Forest Moon of Endor.
Do you want to stick with that, or do you want me to play the video?
Just play the video. Oh, that's Luke on training Yoda. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. The top of Yoda's head made me think like Leia was wearing some camo or something.
Yeah. Well,
I like that.
You realize that with about 3 seconds to go, so we'll give you 3 points on that one.
That's Kylo Ren.
Yes, actually it is. So you get a full 10 points there. So that puts you at, let's see, you had 54, 8. That gives you 68 total points.
Okay.
And I think this is the last video. So what that means is, yes, game over. What that means is you got a higher score than Frank.
Yes.
You can now rub that in his face. He got 62 points.
Good.
You got 68.
I have redeemed myself in my own eyes.
So this is a comment that came in while we were doing that.
I wouldn't miss it. Oh, he's talking about the one that I messed up. I wouldn't miss it. That's exactly how Kevin sounds. I wouldn't miss it. No.
So
Kevin loves Star Wars as much as I do.
The goal here is now to try to get Bill to come on an episode.
Yeah.
And see what kind of score he can get. Frank suggests that I do Star Trek with him.
This was a pitcher of water that I was going to rinse my razor out in, but since I'm out of water in my mug, I've been drinking this during the game.
Very nice.
Yeah, we told Bill that he should do it. He should. This is fun.
Yeah, I've been talking to Bill. Bill wants to. I understand he's a very busy fella.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he's busy.
It's probably going to be sometime in January.
Well, this time of year, it's hard to. It's either the hardest time of the year to schedule something, or you'll be like, "Hey, I'm open," and it doesn't matter what day or whatever. So, I have to go to work tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that.
Kevin suggests that I do the game based on Dune.
Yeah, because Bill McGonnell loves Dune.
It would be really difficult for me to design a game based on Dune because I know nothing about it. So I wouldn't know if trivia questions were easy or hard.
You could probably just Google Dune trivia.
Dune trivia, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So you guys on Half Hour Wasted, you're currently on a hiatus, correct?
Yeah, we're just taking a few weeks off, and so we've been putting out what we call random audio files.
Yeah, those are kind of fun.
Yeah, sometimes.
I haven't listened to Bill's yet.
No, it's good actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real.
I've listened to one so far. It was the Frank episode where he goes to the toy store.
Yeah, that place is awesome. Yeah. The Holocron toy store. It's over in Fort Worth. I've been at least once. It's pretty amazing. I mean, like, you see stuff there that you haven't seen since you were, 10. It's incredible.
So it's not necessarily new toys.
They have some new toys, but they also have they always have like the new Black Series figures that are coming out. And but if you're looking for old vintage Star Wars toys, you're going to find them at that place. It's pretty amazing. They've got a website that you can look on. But they do offer new stuff as well. It's pretty amazing. Yeah.
So do you have a random audio file planned?
Yeah, I'm working on one in the background. I think I'm going to publish one next. I just published one today. I'll publish one next Sunday or Monday. And then we might do another random audio file after that, maybe 2 more. And then sometime in January, I'm sure we'll start recording again. You know, I miss being in the same room with those guys. We've been doing our shows on Skype, and it's not the same. I mean, it's fun, but it's still not the same. You know, those guys they don't even know, but they're just racking up the man hugs. You know, next time I can see them, I got a whole rack. My stack of man hugs to give keeps getting higher and higher.
Well, hopefully it won't be much longer with the vaccine now coming out. I mean, it's probably going to be 6 months before any of us get them, but
yeah. And maybe by that time they might have version 2.0, which would probably be, you know, a little more reliable, I guess. Yeah. I can only hope.
Yep. Let them test the new version out on all the rich celebrities. We'll get the good one later.
I know some people, some healthcare workers who have already gotten it. A couple of nurses.
Yeah, my sister-in-law, who's a doctor, she got it.
Mm-hmm. You know, I hear people talking about, well, is it really going to do any good? And can we still get sick? I'm like, you know, you get the flu shot and you can still get the flu, but imagine what it would be like if you didn't get the flu shot, you know?
Yeah.
That's a whole nother conversation as well. I just want people to be nicer to each other. I want people to just be kind. I mean,
I say it at the end of every one of my episodes, be nice to each other. That's my sign off. I don't think it's that hard. I don't think it's that difficult to be nice. But
it's not. It really isn't. But why do some people have such a hard time with it? I mean,
I don't know.
I got a bubble, a personal space bubble that I let very few people in. But I still try to be nice to the people on the outside of the bubble, you know?
Yeah.
I'm trying really hard to not be a grumpy stick in the mud. I mean, my resting face is not an approachable face, but it doesn't mean I'm just angry all the time either, you know? I think it's more of a defense mechanism. But over the last several months, you know, with this COVID stuff, I've come to realize that people need each other and they need to be around other people. And you're right. It's not that hard to be nice to people. I just wish people would. I want to be somebody that somebody doesn't mind being around. Not necessarily somebody. Star Wars is about sci-fi conspiracy off-planet disclosure. What does that mean, Steeven?
I'm not quite sure.
The Death Star actually is the exact copy of a stern moon.
All right, I got to look that up now.
I don't know what that means either.
Stern. I don't know. I looked it up and I get the moons of Saturn. It auto-corrected to Saturn. Oh, that's what Saturn, yeah.
It's a exact copy of a Saturn moon? Which one? Speaking of Saturn, in the night sky in the west, they're real close now. Jupiter's on the bottom and Saturn's on the top. What's today? The 20th? I think tomorrow, the 21st, is when they're going to be the closest together, and then they start separating. It's so cool.
And when they're close together, that's when the mutants come.
I got to keep a lookout.
That's why we're building Space Force.
Okay. Did you watch that Netflix show?
Yes, I did.
That was pretty funny.
It was pretty good. Yeah,
That was pretty funny. You know what's leaving The Office? Or Netflix is The Office.
I know.
That's really
It's
sad.
it's going over to Peacock, but I don't know if it's going to be on the free version or not.
Okay, here's the deal. I just read this. The first 2 seasons, I think, are going to be free for anybody to watch. But seasons 3 through 9, you're going to have to pay monthly to watch them.
That's a bunch of crap. There's
Yeah.
too many streaming services out there anymore.
I get Hulu free with my Sprint account. It's free with ads, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I can watch Letterkenny and not pay for it, so that's great. If you haven't watched Letterkenny on Hulu, by the way, you're missing out.
I need to. It's on my list.
It's wonderful. And then there's another cough drop. My older daughter bought the Disney Plus bundle, so I watch. You can create profiles for your family, so I watch my stuff that way. I pay for Netflix, and I paid for HBO Max a while back because there were several shows that I always wanted to watch, and so I would wait until one of the seasons would finish up, and then I'd watch them all. But I've kept it. And here's something. What do you think about HBO, Warner Brothers, releasing Wonder Woman in theaters and HBO on the same day?
I like it. I'm a very non-social person. I like people. I just like to be somewhat separate. I'm not good in social situations. So I'm more comfortable staying at home watching a movie than going to a movie theater. I do understand though that one of the movies that they have releasing next year isn't totally theirs. It's like theirs and Legendary, and they didn't consult Legendary, and Legendary is kind of pissed off. I think it might be Dune. I don't remember now, but
well, it is Legendary, and that's doing Dune, and that guy Dennis Villeneuve, or however you say his name, he's super upset.
my wife just came in and she's watching this and she can barely hear me.
I can hear you fine. Would it help if I spoke softer?
Now I'll just turn my mic up. Of course, we're an hour and 15 minutes into it, so at this point it doesn't matter. I've had such problems just getting the mic part of this down that it's driving me crazy.
Well, I can hear you if that's any consolation. You said you didn't like people. The way I've always said it was, I hate people, but I like persons.
Yeah, no, I can get behind that. Yep.
You know? And me going to the movie theater, I've always enjoyed. Never had a problem with that, except when the numbskull next to me gets on his phone.
Yeah.
You know, or the people behind me start talking. I'm the guy who's there with his kids and will stand up and turn around and say, I'm going to need you guys to stop talking because I can't hear what's going on in front. And my daughters are like, Dad, stop. And my buddy Kevin, we went to the movies a lot before COVID, and we were just talking about this the other day. There was some guy sitting to the left of me who was on his phone, and if there was a table in front of Kevin, he would have flipped it. You know, it was just real. People are so inconsiderate. I should have said something earlier about your mic.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin. This show is awful because of you.
This is all Kevin's fault.
I have a 65-inch TV, 4K TV, and so all I got to do is roll my chair a little closer to it, and I'll feel like I'm at the movie theater. You know, I've got surround sound. Boba's on top of one of them. But I tell you what, I'm really going to have a hard time not going to the movie theater to watch Fast and Furious 9, because that's like those movies are my guilty pleasure, and seeing those ridiculous stunts with the sound and everything up on the big screen, that's going to be hard. And Matrix 4,
Yeah.
I'd rather see it on the big screen than on this TV.
I do.
You know?
I do enjoy seeing the big movies in a theater. It's just so expensive, and it's like I was telling Frank, if
Yeah.
if I'm gonna go see a movie, I pretty much have to take the wife and kids with me, and because I don't want to go by myself.
No, I get that.
Though I have gone by myself to movies before, but good Lord, just me and the wife going is spendy.
I get that. I mean, it's gotten to be. Do you get concessions when you go?
Yeah.
I don't at all. I don't get concessions.
I'm moving my mic closer to me.
I'm hearing a lot of when you did it.
Yeah. Well,
I think there's a short in it. You remember that commercial?
no.
Nope. There's a hum now.
There's a hum now.
Yeah. Oh. Okay, don't move it. Don't move it.
Okay, I'm not gonna touch it.
Yeah. The old Brahms commercial with golly, I can't remember that guy's name. The Brahms, maybe Brahms was a local down here in Texas.
Yeah.
Ernest Goes to Camp. Ernest Goes to Hollywood. You know those? Remember those old movies?
Jim Varney.
That guy Ernest was on these Brahms commercials. His name was Ernest, and he was talking to the camera. He'd always talk to Vern. Vern was the camera. Know what I mean, Vern?
Hey, Vern.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he goes, "Oh, here's your problem right here." And he reaches and grabs this wire, and he's like, "Oh, it's got a short in it," because like he was getting shocked. That's what it sounds like is going on with your microphone. I just thought Brad was too loud.
Now Kevin's just looking for excuses. He's just trying to.
Yeah.
He's trying to throw some excuses out there.
Varney.
For what is truly his fault.
Kevin, don't you have a key lime pie to finish or something like that?
Love key lime pie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too.
All right.
I'm looking forward to watching Wonder Woman, I think. Especially with Kristen Wiig doing that character.
Yeah.
It just seems like so out of the box for her, so I'm really looking forward to watching that.
Yeah.
And the Mandalorian himself is in it as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. He is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's weird seeing his face though, because his voice doesn't match his face because you see it coming out of the helmet so much that when he does take his helmet off and start talking, it almost doesn't feel natural.
Well, it's like when you're a kid and you listen to the same DJ every day on your favorite radio station.
Yeah.
In your head, you get an idea of what you think. He already finished it. You get an idea of what this DJ looks like. And then you see the guy, in a picture on the news or something. And you're like, that is not what I expected.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But, I really didn't know anything about Pedro Pascal before this movie.
No.
No. I was surprised he took his helmet off so easily. Not necessarily in this last episode, but the one before. When he was trying to find the coordinates, they had to go in the mess hall, and it just seemed
but
like...
I kind of chalk that up to he is so invested at this point in getting the kid back that he'll do anything. And if it means that he has to take his helmet off to get that kid back, he will do it.
Yeah.
And because when I watched it again today, I noticed that before he comes to the decision the first time, they're standing up there on the cliff watching the big truck go by. He uses his helmet to look into the cockpit, and he can see that the driver has a helmet on.
Yeah.
So he's like, I can do that. I mean, I could wear one of their helmets. Which that was a really funny moment when the other guy is putting on the stormtrooper armor, and he's like, "Oh, this guy reeked. Gloves are still wet."
We've all done that. We've all borrowed a glove or something from somebody, and you put it on. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Or like my daughter my younger daughter, her first job was working at Chuck E. Cheese. And if you ever been to Chuck E. Cheese, you know, you'll
Yep.
see somebody walk out in the Chuck E. Cheese suit. She had to do that every once in a while. They would rotate. She's like, Dad, that's the worst. It's like sometimes the gloves are still wet from the last person and it smells like, you know, the helmet smells like their breath. Yeah, I can only imagine. That's pretty gross. I liked that conversation that Mayfeld was having with the Mandos, like, you know, we're a lot alike, you and me. And he's like, you're born on Mandalore, you believe one thing. You're born on Alderaan, you believe it something else. But, you know, where's the line? You know, you've got standards, but where's the line? Like, how far do you need to go before you start bending the rules? I just thought that conversation was pretty interesting because he's like, first you said you can't take off your helmet, but now, or is it that you can't show your face? So which is it?
Yeah.
And I for some reason that conversation struck me as like, it made me think about myself and the things I profess to believe or say out loud, or like I'll say one thing and do another. And it just kind of makes me want to pay more attention to what I do and say. And that may or may not have been the intention behind that scene. You know, whoever wrote that wanted to send that message or whatever. I'm kind of stream of thought now. All of a sudden I want to ask you, are you the type of person that when you watch a movie, like you have to know what's the message behind this movie, or can you just enjoy it for what it is?
I'm not, I always say I'm not smart enough to often get the message behind the movie. So
Yeah.
I don't try. I enjoy it for what it is. And then if I do pick up on it, if I do pick up on a message or an Easter egg or something, then I just feel like the cleverest person ever.
Yeah.
And I tell, you know, I go around and tell, do you get what he's trying to say there? And people are like, yes. Why did it take you that long
Yeah.
to understand?
My younger daughter, Allison, is a film buff. And we'll watch movies together and she'll say, you know, that this means this and this means that. And I'm like, I never even thought of that at all. But when she'll say it, I'll be like, yeah, I can see that. But I don't want to be the kind of person that dissects everything. First off, like you said, I don't think I'm smart enough to do that. I'm pretty smart with some things, and the other things I'm like, duh, okay. But I just like to be entertained.
Yeah.
Will give me a question. All right. I'll be right back. I'm just the type of person who likes to not think while being entertained. And but anyway, that scene in The Mandalorian struck me. I just really liked it for some reason. It's smart. That show is smart TV, I think. I think it's smart TV.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not like too preachy, but it's not stupid. I don't know how else to say it. Yeah. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I'm excited. My butt's starting to hurt. Oh gosh. You asked me about my back. You know, I had that pinched nerve.
Yeah.
For some reason, sitting on this couch for the last hour and 28 minutes. I'm not asking to stop or get up or whatever. I'm just saying if you see me squirming, it's just because my left butt cheek's really starting to hurt.
No, I'm the same way. I've been having a lot of back problems lately. Working from home, I don't really have a setup for, you know, I don't have like a desk and all that good stuff to sit down and do my job. So I just sit on my couch all day, and it's kind of throwing my back.
You should get a chair, you know, like an office chair or something, because they can really help you sit up straight. You can adjust and make adjustments and things like that. But you should get a TV tray, put your laptop on it, and sit in an office chair. That'll help. Yeah. And then I don't know how physical you are in your daily life, but you should walk. You should walk every day. You should take a walk every day. If you're having back problems, this is speaking from somebody who's had 2 back surgeries and, you know, a life full of back problems. You should walk every day and you should do some kind of physical exercise and try to strengthen your core muscles, because the stronger your core is, the less work your back does, and that's when you start running into problems. So, but I think I inherited some of my back problems as well from my dad.
Yeah.
So anyway, I hope your back doesn't get any worse.
Yeah, me too. I've always chalked it up to a number of years back. Um, one morning I woke up, stand up desk. Yeah.
I used to work with a guy who had a stand up desk, and he would
Yeah.
stand all day and sit rarely.
Yep. Yeah. We have a guy like that too. But we had a big ice storm, and I got up that morning to go to work, and I stepped out onto the porch, and I looked at the ice on the steps of the porch, and for some reason, my brain said, "I can do that.
Oh boy.
That'll be fine." Luckily, the porch is well, it's 4 steps, but as soon as I put my weight on that top one, I was up in the air and landed on the bottom step on my bottom, slid right off of that, and then just slid out on my back into the middle of the yard. And so I'm like a turtle out there in the middle of the yard, and my stepdaughter had to come out, get me. They were throwing cat litter on the steps. And I was like, why didn't I think of that? Why didn't I use the back door where there are no steps?
Because people are stupid and we are people.
Yes.
Exercise ball chair.
Yeah. Portlandia.
You ever watch that show, Portlandia?
I've seen a couple episodes, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great show. Of all the Star Wars TV shows that have been announced, which one are you looking forward to the most?
That's a tough one. I think Ahsoka is the one I'm looking forward to most.
Yeah.
But I can't think of the name of it. But well, actually, no, that's not true. I'm looking forward to Obi-Wan. That's probably the one I'm looking forward to most. I think I'd really enjoy the Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. It's going to be like a limited series. The only way I can see Disney maintaining all these TV shows that they've talking about doing is if most of them are like one season and that's it, or maybe 6 episodes and that's it.
That's the way I understand that the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I don't think I read that for sure, but they made a comment that I read recently.
I think I heard that it was like 6 episodes.
Yeah, 6 episodes and then that's it.
I think Ahsoka is supposed to be a quote-unquote limited series. I think Ewan McGregor said Kenobi was like 10 episodes and that was it. He might have said 8. The only 2 that I'm of the Star Wars shows that I'm not super excited about would be the Rangers of the New Republic. That seems kind of odd. Especially if they're doing like a Rogue Squadron movie, which is Patty Jenkins the director. It seems like the same subject matter to me.
Well,
fighter pilots.
The Rangers one makes me feel like more of a kind of like a like Rangers in the Old West, like a cop show or something in space. I think it could be interesting going to, maybe seeing different worlds. And I don't know, being more of a cop show.
Those 2 X-Wing pilots that we mentioned earlier, they didn't refer to themselves as Rangers. They were just like on patrol, right?
Right, but from a lot of the stuff that I've read or the theories is that they're going to be part of it.
That'd be cool.
So it's going to be like these guys that are out there patrolling the outer rim.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I just hope they don't overextend themselves. I think that may have been part of the problem with Lucasfilm over the last several years, is that they overextended themselves a bit. They tried to get the Skywalker saga done too quickly. They tried to do Solo and Rogue One and all this other stuff all at one time, and I just think I don't want to say they got greedy, but I think their eyes were too big for their plate of Thanksgiving food. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, because their plan was literally we're going to have some Star Wars movie every year. So the Skywalker saga will be every other year, and then between those years we'll have something like Solo or Rogue One, and they said we're going to keep making them as long as we keep making money off of them. There's going to be a Star Wars movie every year, and then when Solo didn't do that well, that kind of hit the brakes at that point.
Yeah.
But when they announced all this stuff, my first thought was Disney Plus is finally going to be worth it. And it is worth it for the Mandalorian alone, but I almost feel like I should at this point just not have Disney Plus when the Mandalorian is not on, because we don't really use it to watch much of anything else. My daughter, we had a overextended. We had a Pixar marathon not that long ago. And I did watch, I watched every Marvel movie that was on there and every Star Wars movie and all that, but they weren't adding a lot of new stuff. But now I feel like once these shows start coming out, there's going to be more stuff to watch on there. And
well, we'll get WandaVision in January, and then I think Winter Soldier a couple of months after that. We're going to start getting some other Marvel shows. I was just about to say something. Oh, the Jeff Goldblum show on Disney Plus. It's in the National Geographic section.
Yeah, I haven't watched that. Is it good?
Yeah, it's good.
Is it? All right.
Are you a Jeff Goldblum fan at all?
I love Jeff Goldblum.
Watch that show then, because it's great. I'll tell you what. Oh, yeah, it's so great. It's great. It's really good. Each episode has a different subject matter that he goes and learns about and stuff. It's pretty neat. It's really good. I mean, if you just want to listen to Jeff Goldblum talk, that's what the show is.
Do you Jeff Goldblum makes me think of this. Do you like Conan O'Brien?
I could take him in bits.
Well, then you probably don't listen to his podcast. Conan
I
O'Brien
do actually, because
have you heard the episode that Jeff Goldblum's on?
Yes.
That's really good. When they're both just kind of going,
yeah. Every once in a while, Conan O'Brien can be a little creepy.
Yes.
And that kind of puts me off. I tell you what, though, the episode he did with Will Arnett, I've probably listened to about 6 times.
Yeah.
That guy is super funny.
Yeah.
He's quick. Yeah. And he has this biting humor and self-deprecating sometimes, but then he's really clever with a jab. I don't know what it is about that guy, but he kills me. Yeah, I'm super excited. It's a good time to be a nerd.
Oh yeah.
Or geek, not nerd, geek. I think there's a difference.
No, I agree.
You've seen the Venn diagram of geek, nerd, and was it dweeb? And how they all fit together? That's pretty funny.
Yeah, that is funny.
Yeah.
All right. We should probably go ahead and wrap this up. I have I made they call it a Tex-Mex soup for dinner. Little hamburger, ground up hamburger, some frozen corn, some Rotel, some canned tomatoes.
Sounds good.
Then you take like a 16-ounce block of Velveeta, you melt it all together in a crock pot, throw it in a bowl with some freaking sour cream and some Frito chips on top.
There you go. That sounds delicious.
It's been cooking away for the last couple hours, and it's.
Can you smell it?
Oh,
yeah, that sounds delicious. Well, this has been fun, man. I appreciate you asking me to come on.
Oh, you bet. Maybe we can do it again. I
would like that.
I think I'm going to be doing this as long as I got people that'll come on. I'm going to be doing this every week. So
it's fun. I'd be more than happy to come back, talk about other stuff.
Cool. Maybe we can talk about some of them Marvel properties at some point.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
Okay, sounds good.
We'll connect. My people will call your people.
Okay, I don't have people, so it'll just be me.
Yeah.
I need to get me some people.
People are expensive.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't need anybody. I can do it all myself. People just let you down.
I just want to say real quick, if my wife is still watching, Karen, Brad is a huge Prince fan as well. There you go. My wife's a big Prince fan.
Prince was my Elvis.
Yeah.
That's the way I describe him. And I cried the day he died.
So did she.
And then the next day I went out and got a Prince tattoo.
Really?
Yeah, on my
Is it-
on my inside of my left ankle. It's
Is
just
it
it's
the symbol.
it's the symbol.
Yeah.
It's the symbol. It's on the inside of my left ankle.
Nice. I sent her a picture the other day. I ran across a cover of a Batgirl comic that was like an alternate cover that was done up to look like Purple Rain. She's on a motorcycle.
I tried to get
Yeah.
that issue and I never could find it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool because she drives that motorcycle anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, Prince was the man. He was the GOAT. He was the GOAT.
Yeah.
I'm looking
right,
at my
dude.
big Purple Rain poster on my wall right up there. Thanks again, Steven. I've had
Yeah.
fun.
Thanks for coming on. I had a lot of fun. I appreciate it.
You bet. I'm going to rub Frank's nose in it that I won. You know what I'm going to do when we hang up? I'm going to finish shaving. But I'll go stand in front of the real mirror.
I'm sorry. That was freaking hilarious. And it's more funny that you couldn't finish. That's what.
No, because I'd
Yeah.
have to wonder, like, if I crossed my eyes, would it help? No, it wouldn't.
Yeah. Because I keep wanting to get closer to my mic. And if I look at it on the screen, I want to go this way, but I'm actually
Yeah.
going this way. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think
All
I'm
right.
going to point at Boba. Ooh, I did it right.
there you go.
All right. Thanks
Christmas
again,
tree.
man.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on. I'm gonna end the broadcast. We'll hang out just a little bit more.
Okay.
If it doesn't just cancel it out like I did with Frank last time. Let's see.
Okay.